Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage, we are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
All right, welcome to another week of Manifestations 2020. Glad to see everybody back here. We got a special show for you guys tonight. The creation of the topic about it is curated by Major. This was a topic that he found very interesting that we need to discuss because we overlooked it for the month of February. Due to Black History Month, we kind of got sidetracked with that and wanted to really show the importance of Black History Month. So we took a time to backtrack back and let's discuss about Valentine's Day and do a little recap, little discussion on things that we need to talk about. So with no further ado, I'll definitely hand it over to Major and let him pop it off for us right quick tonight. Get it going.
Yeah. What's going on? What's happening?
What up?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Listen, we got to talk about this, man. You know what I'm saying? Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. You dig? We got to go back a little bit because of the simple fact that, like you say, you know, Black History Month came and we were so focused on that, laser focused on that we really didn't get a chance to get into Valentine's Day. And like, you know, it's not that big of a deal to a lot of people, but there are a lot of people that take Valentine's Day real serious. You know what I'm saying? And so we wanted to make sure that we dialed back into that and gave it its respect. You know, I hope that y'all got a chance to get out there and share Valentine's Day with somebody y'all really care about, and that it was meaningful to you, and that you got to express how you really feel, you know, to the people that you love. You know what I'm saying? And that's really, really what it's all about. We want to touch down on that because, you know, primarily we are a dating and relationship show. We're about rebuilding that rift that is taking place in the Black community in terms of relationships and how we interact with each other. So we wanted to make sure that we touched on that. And, you know, we really got down to the meat and potatoes of what Valentine's Day means to you and how we can use Valentine's Day as a tool to strengthen relationships between each other as Black men and Black women. So that's basically where I'm at with it. What you saying, Bobby?
On that to the fullest. Then we'll definitely get to a little bit more, but like you said, there's a lot of people that kind of treat Valentine's Day, not just Valentine's Day, but other holidays as a lightning rod issue because of the idea of the commercialization and it's the philosophy of, well, you know, I don't mean Valentine's Day. I show my love all the time, year round. It shouldn't be about what, you know, all that stuff and nonsense.
Facts.
And, you know, personally, I just think that's foolishness. I get the commercialization. I get how, you know, too much can be made about the day. You know, if you don't do X, Y, Z on this day, you don't care about this person or whoop-de-whoop, whatever. But the reality is, with all the negativity that does go on around us in the world, I would personally think that any occasion to show some positive, to show some love, to show some care, some compassion, some, hey, I was thinking about you, or this is what you mean to me, we could use some more about that.
Facts.
You know, let's go ahead and put away the tough guy, the tough girl, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. There is a time and place for everything. And I think when we get so caught up on the minutiae of certain things, we can lose sight of the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even in times of war, when you have people dying on the front lines in battle, whether it's the olden days or even modern times, you know, even those soldiers, there still needs to be time that's made for recreation, letting your hair down a little bit. Just take the edge off. You can't run the race car in the red nonstop. It's gonna break down.
Facts.
It's important to take the time to take the foot off the brake, the gas a little bit, kind of reset, you know, let yourself kind of, you know, cool off a little bit. Then you can get right back into the fray. So, you know, we rock with Valentine's Day over here. We ain't got no issue with that.
Man, look, and that's my main thing. Like you said, and you know, I feel like I really gotta bring it now because you got brothers in the spot using words like minutia and shit. So I gotta step it up a little bit. Like, hold up, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait, what's going on, man? If I do breaking out the $50 words and shit, you know. But facts, man. The problem that I have with it and why I thought it was important we dial back to this show is because we got so many people out here that are so jaded about the concept of showing love to the significant other. That's what's really, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? If we're going to ever, like I said, heal this rift between Black men and Black women, we have to kind of unthink things that we've been thinking. I can't even say that we've been taught to think, though some of us have, right? Things that we have been thinking over the past, I want to say 10 to 15 years now, because even before that, let's use the year 2000 to 2005. Let's use that as a benchmark. I don't recall all of the gender warring and all that old shit before then. 1999 coming into the 2000s, I can remember back that ass up dropping, for the 99 and the 2000s. And I can still remember men and women pretty much getting along in relationships, right? Like we had some online presence, but online hadn't taken off to the point where it is now where, damn, everything is online. You know what I'm saying? Like I just read a stat. It was crazy. Almost made my head explode. I just posted it on my page. Nearly half of young men have never asked a woman out on a date for her number in person. Nearly half of young men, 18 to 25, have never asked a woman out on a date or for her number in person. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's where we are, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we gotta have a Valentine's Day show because that's some scary shit. You feel me? Think about that. And you wonder why all of these people are having these reactions, where, it's almost like they're so scared. They're so afraid to approach a relationship, or they're so afraid of what the outcome is going to be that going in, they have this negative mindset up front. Like I remember this girl I used to talk to back in the days, and she was playing very hard to get, dare I say, or whatever. And it's like, God damn, why is this girl acting like this? She seemed like she was cool enough and like she liked me, but when I pulled the trigger and tried to really get at her, she had a real strange reaction, and she was really sometimey and really iffy, right? And so I'm this person. I believe in being very direct and very upfront. And so I asked her straight up one day, I'm like, Mommy, listen, I like you and everything, and I'm really feeling you. I'm trying to get to know you, but it's like pulling teeth. Like it's crazy. And so just tell me, why is it that you seem so distant and like you don't want to really? On one hand, your body language tells me that you're interested. On the other hand, it looks like you're giving me a very difficult time getting to know you. I really want to get to know you. Dude, you know what her response to me was?
Brace yourself.
Get to know you, why? So you can fuck up my life? That was her response. That was her response, bro. I was like, damn, this is where we are?
I'm her responses, man.
This is where we are. And this is like right before I met my wife. You know what I'm saying? So this is the type of dating climate that I seen. You know what I'm saying? And so it just pushed me to
now
kind of
now let's not race past that. You said that was just before you met your wife.
Yes.
That wasn't too long ago.
No, wasn't too long ago. No. I mean, I met my wife 5 years ago.
Right. So
yeah.
You're not an old head, but you're not exactly, wet behind the ears or anything.
Right.
So safe to assume that this sister wasn't in her teenage years. This wasn't some girl who's just, still in college or anything. This was an older woman thinking this way.
In her mid-30s. This woman was like 35 years old. She had a career, and she actually worked 2 jobs. She had her career, and then she did bartending on the side. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, she seems, I used to see her in the spot all the time, and a lot of guys used to sweat her, but she never gave nobody no play. And I liked that. I like the fact that, okay, you're working at a club in a bar, but, these guys are trying to get at you. They don't phase you. The ballers come in with they knots of money. They don't phase you. You're not dressed like a streetwalker, even though that will be acceptable for this environment. I'm like, okay. I liked some stuff about her, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh my God, I went to go talk to her in good faith. And I just discovered this. I mean, some people, the damage is so severe, it's almost like you can't correct it. I don't know. Have you experienced that?
And I've experienced that in one form or the other. And there's been some cases where I haven't bothered to dig deeper, or I haven't dug deeper once I just saw that there was resistance in place or what have you, or that we're not budging past a certain spot. I kept it moving, but I'll never forget a relationship that I was in, probably one of my more significant relationships. I had that issue, and mind you, we were younger at this point, but this goes back to the danger of not resolving your baggage, not checking your baggage, so to speak. You pull up at the airport and you still got the baggage with you. You're supposed to have been checked it on the counter, you didn't, and now you're wondering why it's a pain to travel all through the concourse and everything. That's because you didn't check your bags in. And one of the big issues I had in this relationship, this was many, many years ago. I've done the work since then. I was able to get over that and kind of really dig through and get the gems out of that situation that I could. And in that way, that relationship is as much of a roller coaster as it was very valuable to me and shaped my life profoundly, because it definitely got me to really dig deeper into myself. But one of the issues was that every time things were going well between us, she would create some sort of issue. She would either create an issue out of nothing, or she would take something minor and blow it up into something of huge proportions. And it was crazy, because when things were great between us, it was legendary. Like, oh my God, this is paradise, wonderful.
Right.
When we hit them slumps, like, Jesus Christ, man, you know, bottle of Tylenol on one hand and some vodka in the other. It's like, my God, it's ridiculous. And one day we were going through one of our cold spells where there's like no communication going on between us. And I was very close with her family. Her sister loved me. Her mother loved me to pieces. I was like I was like a son to her.
Okay.
And I guess her mother had enough of her shit. Because one day it was a Sunday afternoon, I'll never forget. I got a phone call from her, and I'm like, okay, damn. I picked up the phone. I'm thinking it's her. And it's her. It's her mom. I'm like, hello. She's like, Bobby, like, hey, mom, is everything good? She's like, yes, sweetie, how are you? We talked for like about a good 5-6 minutes. I hadn't spoken or seen her in a while. But she's like, I'm glad you're doing okay. Hold on, I'm gonna put so and so on. I heard her like shoot her out in the back of like 30 seconds. Like, the hell's going on? She basically cussed out her daughter, telling her, go call that boy, stop cutting up. And so we had us a good long conversation. And, you know, I finally asked the question, like, you know, why are we like this? What's going on? And her philosophy was that, you know, he said that she had an issue that we had was that we never fought. Never had issues. And so she's saying, you know, we're seriously considering taking this to the next level. What's going to happen if we're married and we don't know how to fight? We don't know how to resolve conflict. We don't know how to solve problems. And I'm like, that's not the way you do that. If it happens, it happens. You tackle it, but you don't go and create issues where there are none. But for her, this was a pivotal thing, because when she was smaller, her mother and her father used to fight like cats and dogs all the time.
Okay.
And this was actually how their thing. They would fight, but they did not know how to resolve conflict. So the conflict never actually got resolved. It just became old and just kind of tepid until the next flare-up.
Wow.
So because that so profoundly affected her, in her mind, her way of resolving this is, I don't want to be like my parents. So therefore, we have to learn how to resolve conflict in our relationship. Okay, good. How do we do that? We do it by starting fights. But you can understand how you, even though it's a horrible direction, you can see how we got there.
Yeah, you can see how you got there. Yeah. Yeah.
And so this is what's important. And so questions, well, how does this relate to what we're talking about? We have to understand that the reason why we have so many situations like this, where you have young men who've never asked women out, never spoken to women, it goes back to something we've spoken about before. We don't have as many examples of success anymore. We don't know what it looks like. And I've mentioned this before on a few different occasions. It's not enough to simply tell people what not to do. That's not enough.
That's not.
It's not enough to give examples of failure. This is what failure looks like. Because the default question is, okay, well, that's failure. Yeah, we don't want that. How do I succeed? I'm not going to succeed, but I know you don't want to fail. And in the end, remember, we do not rise to the occasion. We fall to the lowest level of our training. So if all I've been taught is failure and what that looks like, my thought pattern isn't geared toward success, it's geared toward failure. I don't know how to succeed, but I have a world-class scholarly education on failure 101, 102, 103. So I can fail with the best of them. And what do we end up doing? Failing.
That's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
I get it, but damn, that's scary, bruh.
It's powerful because remember, we aspire to be like what we see. I remember when we were coming up, man, just in the 90s alone. We had so much positive media, or at least so much balanced media where relationships were concerned. I can think of some of the best movies that I came upon. Things like The Wood, what else? The Best Man, those kind of films where you had relationships being showcased, and even if there was drama, we saw people making up. We saw positive examples alongside the negative examples. We saw marriage. We saw people coming together. We saw the joy that surrounded these occasions. We had very good, positive perspectives of love and relationships.
Yeah.
Right now, and of course, you can't necessarily build a whole generation off of media, but at the same time, the media is supposed to be on the pulse of the people.
That's what it's supposed to be.
So right now, I remember I saw The Wood when I was, I think, 14 or 15. I was like middle school age right now.
Yeah.
Wasn't a movie for kids necessarily, but it wasn't so horrible that, you know, if you catch a child watching, you flip out or whatever.
Right.
But right now, in 2025, what movie could 14 or 15-year-old Major or Bobby put on right now that's like The Wood or The Best Man? We could watch that and we could get inspired or feel optimistic and say, man, you know what, that looks like fun. I want to do that when I come up. And it's positive. I can't think of one.
I can't think of nothing, bro. That's profound. That's profound.
We don't have any media that is positively showcasing relationships, healthy relationships, especially our relationships. But we got a whole bunch of bitch hoe music. We got a whole bunch of you got this pussy making pay music. We got a whole bunch of tricking and hope. We got all that out there.
We do.
And then we wonder why the generations are coming up and they don't have good feelings towards each other. I'm hearing more stories now about young boys in middle school and high school not being interested. They're saying, I don't like the girls I'm seeing around me. The girls are too ghetto, they're too ratchet, they're too negative. I don't see anything that looks like wholesome. I don't see anything that I would be interested in committing to. This is what the kids are saying.
And you know,
I'm hearing this from parents. I'm hearing this from a lot of moms saying, they feel hurt because their sons are saying, I'm not interested in the girls that I see, and the ones that I am interested in don't look like us.
And you know what's wild as hell? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, bro. What's wild as hell is that they're right. That's what's wild as hell. They're right, man. Like, I hate to say it, you know, but I've seen that same thing too with these young kids. And you know, I always talk to the young black kids because, you know, they're like me. They look up to me. Like, even when I meet them just in passing, they're like, what's up, OG? You know, and they be asked, it must just be something about my aura that makes me seem knowledgeable or some shit. Because as soon as they find out that I'm an older dude, they start asking me mad questions, and most of them are about women. You know what I'm saying? Most of the questions these young dudes are asking me are about women. And, you know, and I tell them, you know, well, hey, man, you know, I do a show. In fact, I met a brother just last week. I hope he's watching. And young brother, you know, he was telling me about some of the girls in his school and, you know, how he views them. He's not there yet to the point where what you're saying, you know, where he's just jaded. He ain't there yet, thank God. But, you know, I told him, look, man, you know, don't be jaded like a lot of these other guys are. Oh, these bitches ain't shit. Oh, don't think like that. Because once you're thinking like that, you're approaching the situation like that, you've already lost. You know what I'm saying? You gotta chill, approach everyone differently. And I gave him a couple tips, and he was soaking up the game. He was glad to hear it. He was like, oh man, because I told him, look, what worked for me is that I started seeing that, like you just said, so many girls out here are hoes now. You know what I'm saying? There's so many that are not wife material and not the type of quality of a woman that you want to internalize and take seriously and build a life around. Okay, you can do one of two things with that. You can either complain about it and whine about it, or whatever the case may be, or you can use it to your advantage, because when you look at it in perspective, yeah, okay, it's so many of these women that are just all wrong. That the way I looked at it and what made it work for me is, okay, well, that should make it much easier to pick out the one that's right. She's going to stand out now, right? So I told him, look, you got to look for things. I told him nothing is foolproof. You still have to vet no matter who you meet. But, you know, if you see a girl, for instance, the night that I met my wife in the club, I met several women that night, or several women tried to meet me that night. They were flirting. They were up in my face. One of them jumped out on the dance floor and started twerking on me. I've never seen this woman in my life.
Yeah.
I'm just walking by, and she just went full-blown hood monkey and just jumped out, tooted up her ass, and started. I'm like, oh my God. I just kind of politely pushed her aside and kept on walking. And I'm like, when you get to that point, you're winning. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're winning, when every woman throwing themselves at you doesn't even seem appealing no more. You don't even care about that because you know what you're looking for. I was watching a show of ours a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about dating with intention. You know, when you're dating with intention, I think you're the one who said when you're dating with intention, it becomes a totally different thing. You understand what I'm saying? So like that, you know, really brought me back, and he soaked up that and a lot of the other game that I was giving him. By the time he got out that car, that young brother was dangerous. He was ready. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really ready to spark something. So yeah, we got it popping. What's up, Ant? I know you bike, so we're gonna go ahead and give you the floor right quick. I got a question.
Y'all was kicking good game, man. I was soaking it up. Shit, I'm taking notes in the back.
We trying to get right over here. We trying to get right over here. Yeah. Get it right.
No, I had to, you know, we had technical difficulties with the Instagram. So now Instagram is back up. I had to go behind the scenes and get it back up. So all my Instagram family that was hitting me up saying they couldn't see it on Instagram. We had a technical difficulty, but it's back up now. So if y'all on Instagram, just, you know, y'all good right now. All right.
Yeah. What's up, IG? How y'all doing? Okay. So right. I got this question for you. I'm having technical difficulties too because we're gonna have to talk after the show because I tried to present and it won't let me present stuff from my PC. So we'll talk anyway.
Okay.
I'll just read it to you verbally, and you know, unless Bobby, did you have anything else on what we were discussing?
The only thing I was gonna say, just to tack on to that, I caught a piece. I'm probably gonna watch the rest of it this week, but I caught a piece of the brother Ryan Clark. Shout out to Ryan Clark. That's a real solid dude. Love what he's doing out there.
Okay.
I'm on the Pivot podcast.
Yeah.
He's kind of talking about the same thing that we're talking about to an extent. It's about how there's so much fear that's put into these athletes about, you know, gold digger this, gold digger that, they're gonna take your money, whatever. So saying, what if we spoke courage to these brothers? What if we taught them this and showed them this is how to go about things? Or if you do get a good, solid woman, how do you treat her? Because again, you cannot teach people what to do from what not to do. You have to tell them what to do.
Facts. Yeah.
And so what happens when you get this woman? Okay, so you're afraid of all these different kinds of women out there. What happens when if you happen to get that woman?
Yeah.
But now you don't know how to treat her. You don't know how to properly care for her, nurture her, nourish her, to foster that proper relationship. Now you basically either run her away, or you constantly become so negative now that she ends up doing some of the very same things that you despise out there just to get back at you. What happens when you create that toxic environment because you don't know how to perform when you finally have her?
Come on now. On now.
It's very important that we take opportunities, whether it's Valentine's Day, Sweetest Day, Lover's Day, whatever the case may be, or held. In addition to those, I would also recommend that you go ahead and create your own personal holidays. go ahead and close your eyes randomly, choose a random date on the calendar.
Yeah.
And set that as your personal Valentine's, whatever you want to call it, day. Well, that's the day where, in addition to everything else, this is just your own holiday.
Yeah.
You two shower each other with love and affection, flowers, cards, candy, the dinner reservations, the vacation, whatever it is. However you want to celebrate each other on a day, do that. Take any and every opportunity to create love and show love to help and re-instruct and re-inform yourself and to recalibrate your minds. One last gem before I kick it over to Ant.
Yeah.
I shared some information a while ago where that psychologist did that study, and they revealed that the formula for a positive, successful relationship is for every 2 or 3 negative moments, there needs to be 5 positive moments to override that.
Okay.
So you need to make sure you're constantly making deposits in the bank account of your relationship. Don't just think that's a one-on-one. Well, y'all fight today, then you make up tomorrow. That's not enough.
Thanks.
You need to take every advantage and every opportunity to go ahead and put extra in the account. And don't even try to do it exactly to that specific ratio, 5-3. Try to go 10-3.
There you go.
Try to go 28.
Yeah.
45-19. Try to take any and every opportunity to put money in that account, so to speak. Because just like with your bank account, the more you're able to save, the more interest you're able to generate, and the more wealth you're going to be later on down the line. You can only help. You cannot possibly hurt from showing more love. You can't.
Well said. Well said. Listen, I love it. I love it. And that's all facts. It's a great segue into our question, because we're talking about Valentine's Day and, the things that you do on Valentine's Day. And I thought this was a great question. I got this from DJ Nasty on 99 Jams. He asked this question because a friend of his. Shout out DJ Nasty. A friend of his had asked this question. For those of y'all that's not in Miami, DJ Nasty is a legend down here. He's on 99 Jams, and that's his signature.
Shout out to DJ Nasty.
Bet that up. Yeah. So he said this, and I thought it was very interesting because he knows somebody who's going through this. Would you break up with someone if they did not get you a gift on Valentine's Day? Now, I pretty much know y'all's answer, but you can also, after you give me your answer, I think I know y'all's answer, but after you give me your answer, give me what you think of the philosophy behind that question.
Well, I'll go first because I know Bobby going to break down the trees and the leaves and the barks, so I'll keep mine simple. Right? It depends. And I'll say it depends, and I'll play the devil's advocate because if you have a sincere person, because I would want to think everybody has a sincere person. If you have a sincere person, what if they're financially in a bad situation around Valentine's Day? And Valentine's Day is a month that really, if most people have bi-weekly paychecks, so it's not like a month that have 5 weeks. It's the shortest month of the year. If that person also, if they have a birthday, like say they're dating somebody and they have a birthday and they have Valentine's Day, then that person that's struggling with their finances now has to take care of their birthday. And so they might take care of the birthday and might not have something on Valentine's Day. So I'm just saying, playing that role, it depends on the person, on their financial status. If they're really crippled and they didn't get you anything of like what you call valuable substance, whatever you call that, then I would give them a pass. But if you don't have something that you feel like the other person might enjoy or like, then there's nothing more creative and fulfilling than, why don't you handwrite a card or do something. They have so many DIY projects out there. You could put something together that is really not that much money, and do something constructive or something cute that just says, I don't have the money, but I thought about you and I did something creative for you. I can bypass with that. But
Okay.
if somebody has the means, they have the finances, and they didn't get you anything, didn't think of you, yes, there is all rights to be all out mad about it because you had 364 days to get that right. So even if you had a bad month that February, you still could have prepared for it. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on now. I'm
Yeah.
going to push back a little bit because the
Okay, go
question
ahead.
was not, are you going to be mad? The
Yeah.
question was not that. The question was, would you break up with someone? Would you leave someone if they did not get you a gift on Valentine's Day? I also like to add to that, some people just don't think very much of Valentine's Day. I know several people, Seventh-day Adventists and so
Yeah.
forth. These people don't celebrate holidays at all. So let's
Yeah.
just say the person they don't rock with Valentine's Day like that. You
No.
know, whatever. So how would you respond to that?
No. I wouldn't break up with them on that. Everybody has their own values of how they see things. I think more women be more emotional on that than men do. You know,
Facts. Yeah.
so I would see more women would break up with guys over something like that. But then you have the women that say, "Oh, Valentine's Day is every day." You know, it's a competition with other women really that they be competing with each other. It's really not the value of the man that they appreciate. It's really they want to get these lavish gifts so they can post it on social media and say, "This what my man got," just to show the next woman off to say, "Yeah, I got a better dude than you." You know, it's a very competitive world out there, and a lot of times that's what you get judged on as a man, not really the value of yourself, but more of a value of what can you do to enhance her image in the public. And I'll land my plane on that.
Facts, dog. Go ahead, Bobby. What you got, man? What you got?
I'm gonna start off with this.
Yeah.
If to answer the question, would I break up with someone because they didn't get me something on Valentine's Day? No, I wouldn't. And I would also say that nobody would break up with someone on Valentine's Day because they didn't get them something. Because here's the thing. If you're breaking up with somebody because of that reason, it's not for that reason. Nobody is breaking up with anybody on Valentine's Day because they didn't get a gift because they didn't get a gift on Valentine's Day.
You don't think so?
No.
I think
that is simply.
But okay.
That is simple. No, the reason why I'm saying that is because that whole not getting a gift on that particular day thing, that is simply the straw. That is simply the small little toothpick that broke the camel's back. The same reason why y'all don't break up or y'all don't have a knockdown, drag out fight because so-and-so forgot to put the toilet seat lid down or screw the toothpaste cap back on. It's not about that. It's about some other unresolved issues behind that or possibly being related to that. And this just happens to be the last final straw. That's what that is. Someone's doing that because either it could be for a number of reasons. It could be because this person has too much of a value on, like Ann was hinting at, outwardly showing off things. They only want to get things to look good for other people. And if they don't get to look good in front of other people on this particular day, they want to break up with you. It's not because I didn't get you anything. It's because I didn't help you flex on other people. That's what this book was for. Or it could be with your person who you're constantly neglected. He never gets you flowers, never takes time to show you an appreciation, never does anything for you, low balls on your birthday if he remembers it at all. And then here we come, finally get to Valentine's Day and still nothing. You break up not because you didn't get anything, but because you're tired of simply not being shown any sort of appreciation or shown any consideration or shown any sort of romance.
Go ahead.
No, or same thing with the fellas. You know, now if a man breaks up because he didn't get anything for Valentine's Day, same thing, lack of appreciation. He's sacrificing, he's working extra, he's making sure that you're taken care of, you never reciprocate. Or if Valentine's Day rolls around, he just gets some socks and some drawers, or he just gets some sex. If he even and that's assuming that he gets on a regular basis as well. Basically, the whole breadcrumbing thing, where I'm just going to do the bare minimum of even that, and just be happy with it.
It happens.
So finally, that just gets to the point where you're like, I'm sick and tired of this, or I'm better than this. I do way too much to only be getting this, that, and the third, or whatever. It's not about the fact that you didn't get a gift. It's because it's a lack of appreciation. There's an over valuation on materialism, especially if it's like, well, this isn't good enough, or I want more, bigger, better, what have you. But it's not just about you didn't get me something on Valentine's Day. There's usually something bigger behind the scenes because of that. For us on the outside looking in, it looks like, dang, they're getting a fight because they didn't get anything on Valentine's Day. But in the eye of the storm, it's so much bigger than just that.
I can agree with you most of the time, Bobby. But for some of these people, for some of these mofos out here, I think you give them a little too much credit, bro. I can remember I met a girl one time, some time ago, and we had met actually a couple days before Valentine's Day. And, you know, we had a couple conversations, but it wasn't even established that we were talking, like we just met. You know what I'm saying? And I think I text her Happy Valentine's Day, and I was going to call her when I got off and talk to her. I might have actually taken her out. Who knows? Bro, when I called her when I got off, my number was blocked. I was like, God damn. Like, yo. Like, she didn't even, just the fact that I didn't have the candy and roses, whatever the case, or I didn't speak on it, or I didn't do it quick enough, I guess. She had me blocked, dude, before I even had a chance to really even get off from work. I guess because I didn't plan anything for her or whatever the case.
But she should, as she should. Look,
nah.
How dare you not look into the future 364 days before this moment, know that you were going to be talking to her, and already have the singing telegram, already have the gigantic bear made of flowers, the rose petals, and the hotel suite booked in Aspen. Shame on you. It's given broke. It's given broke. It's given dusty. Shame on you.
With a lot of these women that will keep it a buck, when they meet a dude, the ass comes pre-kissed. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like they already expected. They have met so many simps, and since the ass comes pre-kissed, they're expecting all this grandiose shit. And I just met your ass. Like, I don't know the first thing about you. And you got all these expectations to the point I didn't even get a chance. You don't know what I might have done. I don't know what I might have done. You know, but I was going to have the respect to call her and say Happy Valentine's Day and talk to her, whatever the case may be. This heifer blocked me. And you know what? I guess you're right. What was I thinking? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. I was supposed to know. I was supposed to have the what you call it? I was supposed to have the psychic abilities to know what her favorite movie was, or what her favorite type of gift was to get her for Valentine's Day. That's what was supposed to happen.
So you know what? A real man would have been able to do that. That's the problem. You ain't a real man. That's the problem.
That's the problem. You spot on, gang. You spot on. Insert acute sarcasm here. You know.
I want to show this this meme real quick, and you guys let me know what y'all feel about it. So it says, please teach your sons that they don't have to tolerate bad attitudes from poorly raised girls for them to be seen as a good man.
Woo, shit, boy. Hallelujah. And the church say amen. Oh my God.
Brother. That's the
Bruh, come on now. Facts. Listen, that right there, that should be etched in stone somewhere, bro. Like, because so many of these women are so conceited and self-absorbed and think that the sun rises and sets at their ass cheeks, that they don't understand that very simple principle. You understand? I was watching, what was I watching the other day? I was watching Kendra G the other day. I don't know if you're going to use that clip, so I don't want to talk about it too much and mess up the clip. But it was another Kendra G show that I watched. And, you know, she had one of her guests getting sassy with her. And so she clapped back and put them in their place. And the people in the comments was rooting for her. Oh, you go, girl. You sister. It was sister girling and high fiving, right? And I thought back to when Kevin Samuels used to do that shit. And how these same bird ass females was in the comments talking, oh, that's disrespectful. He's so rude. Who hurt you? Who raised you? Ooh, your mama must have did you wrong when you growed up. Shut your goofy ass up. Like, really, bro? It's so mind-numbingly irritating to me how when a woman stands up for herself and fends off these damn trolls, it's wonderful what she's doing. You know, she's demanding respect. She's not letting people take advantage of her. Meanwhile, these same bird-ass females calling the Kevin Samuels show, a man who's twice their age with twice their experience in life, giving them factual information that's actually going to help them, right? And anytime they talk sassy to him and he claps back, he's the bad guy. He's the villain. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's low-key why Kevin Samuels got all the notoriety that he got, because Kevin Samuels used to check bullshit at the door. And that's why I like Kevin Samuels. And ladies, we love y'all to life, but if y'all come on here, we're going to check your ass the same way. If you come on here with some bullshit, I just want you to know, I'm telling you with a smile, all right? So don't feel like,
and it's in love too. Don't miss
love
out of any malicious intent or whatever. No.
It's love.
We'll cuss you out, and then we'll give you the biggest hug right afterwards.
You dig? There it is.
It ain't no emotion.
It's not personal. It's business.
What I find funny though is that Kendra G got checked by Kevin Samuels and she agreed with it.
Yeah,
and the women don't acknowledge it. I'm gonna play that clip right now and show you.
She agreed with it later.
Children in his legacy, or you have to go find someone who could.
Or it could be a man that might already have children and doesn't want to.
Not my example. That's not my example. That's a different example.
Can I just say this? I respect your insight. I really do. That's why I came on your platform. Okay. But I'm not gonna allow what you think is gonna be for my life to be my life.
Okay, if you allow what I don't know you, lady.
Right, is that well? My name is Kendra. You said my name earlier.
Lady Kendra, ma'am. I don't know you.
Okay.
So the thing is, I'm not going to allow you to start getting upset because
I'm not, Kevin. I'm not upset. I'm not upset.
You came to my platform and asked me my opinion. Okay, so to tell me what you're not going to allow me to do, that's not necessary.
I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just ultimately.
But what would you call it? What would you call it? I'm not going to allow what you say to do what?
Because I mean, listen, I hear you, but I don't. There's plenty of women that I know that have had babies in their 40s, that have gotten married in their 40s.
He would have to forego.
And she got checked and she acknowledged it. She acknowledged it, but she didn't want to admit to the world like she was wrong. So she said, I hear what you're saying and I understand. And then she deflects to something else.
Right. Well, this is the problem with Kendra G. It's the problem with a lot of modern women, and I'm gonna just keep it above. Kendra G don't know when to shut the fuck up and learn something. It's simple as that. You know, she's on there with Kevin Samuels, who was masterful at some of the things that he taught. He had some things you could legitimately criticize him about, like quoting Thomas Sowell and uplifting Thomas Sowell, who was a coon of coons. Yeah, nobody ever attacked him about that, though. You understand what I'm saying? But the things that women would attack him about all had to do with him holding women accountable for their shit. And as we progress, women are starting to get the point. Like, men are not taking no prisoners no more. We okay, it's my way or the highway. A lot of men are on that. Like, and if you can't agree with or cooperate with what I got going and, you know, become part of my program, then you can kick rock. You can keep it walking. You can keep it moving. You can walk.
I remember when Kevin Samuels was alive, Kendra G was talking cash joint, trying to get people to come over to her platform by kind of talking shit about the way he go about things and shouldn't be like that. Then when Kevin Samuels passed away and then her platform took off, she was doing the same shit that Kevin Samuels was doing, and a lot of women was calling her out on it. It was like, yo, you starting to be like a female Kevin Samuels. And a lot of people started to see that she was taking a lot of his style and applying it to her joint. And that's how she got big and popular off of using this man formula. That's why a lot of people can't respect her on that. And another thing what people can't respect is she flip-flops too much. One day she wants to hold women accountable, and then she comes right behind and coddles the same bull crap. And as you pointed out, because I didn't know, and I have clips here, we can go through them, but you pointed out how she went on the Tamara Hall show, and she basically looked like a straight fool, and basically is the total opposite of what the fuck she was supposedly supposed to be running on. She went and did the opposite on there, and I was shocked that she went that extreme opposite. And then she said that she's single, and it starts to resonate with a lot of people. Like, this is why we have these conflicts of interest, because a lot of people say they don't want to invest in advice from people that aren't married or, you know, in a stable situation. Because here you are, you're in and out of relationships. You can't even get yourself situated and stable, but yet you're out here trying to hook people up. And I think one of the biggest things that you can do is lead by example. Now, there are content creators that do a great job of matching people up. Kevin Samuels was pretty good at that, and he wasn't with nobody. But you do have some content creators out there that are very good of lining people up that aren't in relationships. But you have a lot of people that are BS when it comes to it, and their lives are screwed up. And then you have some relationship people that are married and give horrible advices. We know some people like that. And it's just like, you know, I tell people all the time, look at the people's track record and also look how they're trying to move, basically trying to show you that they're leading by example. I always follow people that try to lead by example, because when they lead by example, that means they're telling you to do something that they're doing. They're not telling you to do something and then on the back end, they're doing something different. Even people like the cussing pastor, he passed away, right? And right before he passed away, he got exposed for having oral sex with a tranny. And the thing about that was, and the thing about that was he was out here on live film cussing other people out about being gay, or cussing other pastors for allowing homosexuals into the church. And then they got you on film, your whole face going down on a tranny. And then you had to be on your deathbed and acknowledge it because it was going viral. It's on YouTube. Anybody could check it out. So now you on your deathbed and you're telling people, yeah, that's me on the video. This is something I did on my dark side a while back. And you now look like a straight hypocrite. And now you're transitioned somewhere else, and people now remember you as being a conceited liar and somebody that was hiding their truth instead of being open and honest about it. So that's why I say, when you follow people, make sure that they're leading by example and not projecting this shit, and then they live in the total opposite behind the scenes.
Whoa. I didn't know about all that, gang. Whoa. Whoa.
I almost wish I did know about that now.
Oh, man. What you got, Bobby? Oh, shit.
Man, that kind of floored me, to be honest with you.
I didn't know that shit. God damn, bro. Like, it's like that?
It's out there. You just got to Google on YouTube. You'll see it. There's video. The video's there, clear as day. And he admitted on it. There's a video where he's inside the hospital with the tube around his nostril, and he admits it.
What? That's crazy. That's, and you know, on one hand, I'm a bit surprised. On the other, I'm not surprised at all, because if we're being totally honest, you know, that's those people who be the loudest, and do the most finger wagging.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the priests in the Catholic Church.
Mm.
You know, look at them. You know what I'm saying? Look at some of these other people. I mean, we could say look at T.D. Jakes allegedly. You know, look at Pastor Eddie Longstroke. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, I'm just saying, like, it's so ironic that it's those people, the ones who made the most noise, the ones who are so sanctified, supposedly, that, you know, they got all the skeletons in their closet and everything is sideways with them and their life be in shambles. Facts. You know. And I would even take it a step further. I would say, man, don't really follow nobody. Just I don't follow anybody. There are people that I listen to. There are people that I respect. There are people whose views I agree with. I don't really follow anybody. I like something that Tariq Nasheed says a lot, and I think he got this from Neely Fuller. He talks about the code being the leader. And you establish a general code and a consensus among your people, and the code is the leader. You understand what I'm saying? I like that a lot better because there's an order of operations and a way in which we should conduct ourselves. I think that we all agree on a lot of things pretty much. That's why we have laws, right? I think that for each group, we should all have a set of laws by which we govern ourselves and thereby a code. White people got a code because anytime some shit go down and it's a bunch of white people and it's a nigga there, they all blame the nigga. They don't have to say a goddamn word to another white person. He did it. You understand? Like they got that shit. We don't. But that's a whole other conversation and that's another show. While we're here on this show, I want to bring it back to something that you said earlier. Damn, I lost my train of thought. Oh, you were talking about Kendra G. And her and how like she basically Kendra G basically downloaded Kevin Samuels' entire show and format. And she uses it for herself now. And she used to be the main one railing against that. She is a staunch hypocrite and a total phony. You understand? Like facts. I don't know how anybody even listens to her in good faith. But then again, you got to consider the quality of a lot of the people, you know, that go on her show. I don't know if I'm really banging on the listeners because at the end of the day, the listeners just want to be entertained. But there's a reason that it's a lot of these same types of people that go on her show. There's a reason for that. You know, she got black women out here looking crazy. And in the clip, when Tamron Hall was speaking to her, you can even see Tamron Hall looking at her like she had 3 heads. Like, what are you talking about? And I've had criticisms of Tamron Hall before. Tamron Hall, she does some stuff that's a little screwy here and there, but I think Tamron Hall, for the most part, is a pretty solid person. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think that she has malicious intent. I don't think that she's a misandrist, you know, but I can't say that about Kendra G because Kendra is always talking out of both sides of her face and saying something that is degrading to men in some capacity. She'll pretend that she's down so that she can draw the audience in and so that she can get the views or whatever. When you got somebody that's really crazy and you calling them out or whatever the case may be, it don't seem that bad because everybody can see that they're crazy. And you're the same gender as this person, so you can get away with it. She figured that shit out because women are very biased. They don't like to hear the criticism come from men. They're more willing to accept it coming from women, especially if it's just somebody that's hopeless and a basket case. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, this motherfucker, she is crazy. She needs this or whatever. They'll accept it from her quicker than they will from Kevin Samuels. But yeah, she stole that man's whole shit. And she made an absolute fool of herself on Tamron Hall's show. It was embarrassing to watch because she's sitting up there just regurgitating angry feminist talking points, you know, thinly veiled in, you know, progressive feminism. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if they won't They won't block us for playing the clips from the show, would they?
They should.
Because I have the clips.
Because it's fair
Right.
use. Commentaries for
Yeah,
commentary.
fair use. All right. So
Yeah.
we'll go through some of the clips that I have here.
Go
All right.
ahead.
Let's go to the first one.
Battlefield out there.
It is.
Yes.
What makes it, Kendra, a battlefield?
I think now because of social media, it's the gift and the curse because now we're all connected. But that fine man you had to worry about just in New York, no, he worldwide now. He got girls in Italy, Mexico, California. So the guy that most women want, he has so many options. And every woman wants the same man child. Really? I don't care if she work at the Piggly Wiggly or she's the corporate lawyer on Wall Street.
All right, that's the first one. Let's get to the second one.
Thousands of people call you.
Yes.
They want to be on the show.
Yes.
They want your advice, but you're single.
That's right, girl, and loving it. Now, you know, I was in a relationship last year, but this is my single season, and I love it. And single does not mean lonely. Single means nobody can't claim me.
Right.
And I got a roster. If you want to join the team, where the camera at, Cameron? Hit me up on Instagram, Kendra G Media. We got space for one. We got space
Because
for
I
one.
love that thing too, but just because.
Okay, so let's discuss that one because Bobby gave that dog side eye real quick, like.
Oh my God, the jokes write themselves. Oh my God.
She said, now she went on her show, and I remember on her show, she said to the women that were commenting, right? And the women were calling in and was like, I'm not settling for nothing less and this and that. And she was like, well, girl, I don't know what kind of man you trying to get because y'all got to start dumbing down. Well, not really dumbing down, but y'all got to start being more realistic and not be delusional, right? And she was like, well, Kendra, and she was like, no, you know what? I don't know. Whatever y'all want to do is what y'all want to do. I got a man, and I'm telling y'all that I got a man, and I was not on the level y'all was on, and that's probably why I got a man. And now you go from telling women that they need to get their priorities in order to be with a guy because you're with a guy, and now you get on national television on a big major platform and sit back and say you're fucking not only the pimp president, but you also the client as well. Like, that's crazy to me. And that you got a roster and a lineup. So now you on some big pimping shit. That's crazy to me. But then you have a show that's supposed to line up single people to find love. You can't even find it for yourself. This is the second dude you have within 4 years. It was like you broke up with a dude in 2022. Then you got with that African dude who basically you probably used him. Y'all both was probably using each other because the African dude, a lot of Africans come over here. They don't really have any sauce or any juice on them. So they'll try to get with a woman who is out there in the entertainment world, who's well known to try to get their stats up on that side. Financially, they got it good, but they just need to get their social stats out there. So you get a woman like that, and y'all using each other. She's using you for the financial, you using her face to get notoriety and claim and fame on your side. Then for the 2 years, y'all broke off and y'all do whatever y'all do. And then now you out here acting like you the player of the year, and you out here trying to solicit dudes to be on your team. And let me tell you something. And this is what a lot of women, this is where a lot of delusion comes from. Kendra G is not a whippersnapper. Like, if she was somebody that was like 21, 22, that would be probably cool. Like, that would probably be reasonable because you're in your prime. So you could brag and get to selling yourself as a hot commodity. You're 40 years old. You're actually on the brinks of not even being able to carry your child if you ever was to get pregnant. You out here selling this dream to other women about freezing your eggs. You froze your eggs. You done did all of that. Dog, you on your last limb. Like, you supposed to be this woman that already supposed to be settled in. a power couple. You got a business out there. The man that you should have in your corner should be that masculine structure, that hard cornerstone that you have to make sure that when you're maneuvering and doing what you're doing out here, you also have a strong support system backed up with a dope dude in order to push you even to another level, because that's what great partnerships do. That's the reason why choosing somebody can be either your heaven or your hell. It could be your start of a wonderful construction, or it could be a start of a hellified destruction. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on how you view that person or how you line up with that person. But a lot of times, a lot of women and men out here, y'all do the same thing too. Y'all don't pick the right people. And what happens is when you don't pick the right people, you end up collecting a lot of bad memories, a lot of bad toxic traits, behaviors, and you endure a lot of that. And now you have this stigma that you project out to everybody else because of those mistakes. And now you either burn the next person or you create such a toxic atmosphere that nobody even wants to be attracted into your vicinity. So that's what's happening now. It's like people looking at you now like, nah, who are you to tell me that you got a roster and you ain't even all that? You're not anything on that level where people want to go out there and gravitate to you for. Your attitude is now bullshit, and now your looks are depleting every day, because the more you get older, the more makeup we see you piling on your face to hide, you know, what you got going on. So it's like all of that stuff you say is only to get those temporary cheers and studio audience applause and things like that. But when the lights and the cameras cut off, the reality sets in. It's not as peachy or as prominent as you make it seem like out there. And that's the false illusion that has these women end up creating more single women. And that's why they always tell you, and there's a lot of women out here that says there's women creating single women, and Kendra G is one of them. And I land my plane on that.
Do I gotta be the one to say it? Do I gotta be the one to say it?
Throw the apron on.
The funniest shit. I'm sorry, I just gotta say it, bro. The funniest shit through all of this is we're listening to Kendra G. Kendra G, who's a strong 3 at her very best, sitting up here giving Tamron Hall game on how to deal with men. Really, bro? What are we doing out here, bro? What are we doing out here? Seriously?
Yeah.
Corey Holcomb, because you mentioned Corey Holcomb, and Corey Holcomb snapped.
Yeah, he did.
On Kendra G. And what made his criticism so scathing is because he correctly pointed out that men who would holler at Kendra G and men who would holler at I still can't believe I'm saying this, Tamron Hall, are not going to even begin to talk to either of them the same way. You cannot compare yourself to Tamron Hall if you're Kendra G. What Kendra G is doing is giving the other Kendra G's information on how to deal with men because they don't look like or carry themselves like Tamron Hall. Period.
Exactly.
I'm looking at this shit and my head is exploding. Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? Nah, bruh. It don't work like that. Kendra G, if Tamron Hall is anywhere near you and y'all are talking about men, just shut up and listen to what Tamron Hall tells you. You did just be quiet. Well, I can't even say that because you still not gonna look like Tamron Hall or act like Tamron Hall. You understand? And the larger point in that, so it's really nothing you could do, Kendra. But don't try to give a chick on Tamron Hall's level advice about how to deal with men. That don't even make sense. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? It don't even make sense.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
Tamron Hall is a very attractive woman. Tamron Hall carries herself with the utmost class and self-respect. You know, you can feel however you felt about some of the stuff she may have done in the past. It was a little feminist or whatever. I've had some disagreements with Tamron Hall, but nobody can say that Tamron Hall carries herself in a fucked up way. You know what I'm saying? Or makes herself look bad, or, you know, she doesn't carry herself like a hood rat. She's not a hyena, like straight up. She's not. You know what I'm saying? We can't say that about Kendra. I'm gonna be very polite. I'm gonna just say we can't say that about Kendra G. You know what I'm saying? She seems,
but honestly,
I'm just saying, she seems to dabble in hyena activities a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? And like that just, it's just not, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So what works for you, Kendra, doesn't apply to Tamron Hall at all. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of dudes, I'm not speaking for myself. I'm married. I'm off the market. But I've talked to dudes about Kendra G. And they're like, man, like Kendra G might as well be a dude. You understand what I'm saying? Like they don't find her attractive at all. You know, but these are guys who got their shit together, who got their mind right. You understand what I'm saying? And like a woman like that is a total turnoff to the type of guy that most women would like to have. And that's the disconnect with her guests. They're not understanding the person who's guiding you. This ain't, you're on a one-way trip to nowhere.
Yeah.
Where you get your game from matters.
Facts.
It matters.
Facts.
It matters.
You can't just be following any old goofy around, you know, that's giving you all this game, supposedly, to take you exactly where, because she said some bonehead shit just now. Oh my God, it was so much shit. I'm typing and I just ran out of typing. I just ran out of shit to type. It was going too fast. It's a battle. First of all, you're coming on a show that's watched by mostly women, and you have two other relationship coaches there with you, right? And Kendra G embarrassed herself. You know, you got these two other ladies up there, and they're the only ones that, you know, one of them sounded like she had a lot of sense. The other one was kind of hot and cold with what she was saying, but neither one of them sounded crazy and unhinged, except for Kendra G. She's talking about, you know, the same man that you used to want. Well, he worldwide now. He got too many options, and you got to hide your man, girl. And, you know, every woman wants a rich man, and I got a roster. I mean, oh my God, what are you talking about?
Yes, I did see that. I did see that. Let me play that comment, that clip right there, because that says a lot. And listen.
Whereas women more generally, we are so like nurturing, and we can see us like building a life together, at least for me.
Where these women at? They don't call my show. They're not gonna work.
So
You better come
struggled.
like the one that calls my show. Like I love that Tamron was open to a pizza date. These girls like 5-star restaurant on day one before you get my first name, and that's the issue though, because you see how Tamron, who richer than all of us, child, you know, and very successful, was willing to go on a pizza date, and now she's married to the man of her dreams. So we need more Tamrons to understand that. Listen, you can be a boss.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the hypocritical thing that she says. We need to be more like Tamron. And that's what I was saying. Like, you have women that's out here leading by example. Like Tamron's story is showing women how to successfully connect with the right guy. And even in the clip, Tamron also admits her flaws of why she didn't get a man. She said, I got this man that I got now because I lost my job. And because I lost my job, my focus was on my job at that time. But when I lost it, I was able to focus on my whole reality. And when I focused on my reality, that enabled me to see this man that was beautifully created in my eyes for me. And that's why I was able to go on a pizza date and learn this man and end up falling in love with this man for everything about him, because my eyes weren't blinded by being sucked up into corporate America, or even she was basically saying, I had to deprogram myself out from this super independent woman that is so absorbed into the accolades and the hierarchy, trying to achieve a hierarchy in this world, when my natural divine femininity basically attracted me to my happiness. And my happiness was basically being with this man that basically we were there for each other. So yeah, when you seen that, when she said that, I was like, wow, that joint blew me, because that's accountability. When we talk about women holding themselves accountable, it don't get no bigger than that. You have a woman that's out here that's making money, and she didn't sit back and say, yeah, I did all of this and then I got a man on the side. She said, no, I got what I deserved, because I had to pull myself out of that situation and really align myself correctly. And that's the verbiage and the message that we need to put out.
I agree. However, real quick, I just got to point this out, because that was after Tamron called her out. You understand what I'm saying? She was on this rant and on this tangent about how, you know, the women now, you know, they're all high maintenance and how that's okay. She was basically co-signing that shit.
Yeah.
And Tamron was like, wait a minute now, hold up, you know, the men don't want no broke woman either. Yeah, but the men don't want this either. And Tamron called her ass out, and that's what made her say that, because she realized she was looking like a goddamn fool. Let's just keep it a buck. Don't leave that out.
I think that was this. I think that was this one. Hold on, let me see if that was this.
Little romantic gestures that you can do to show that you care. Right. Why is there a name called micromance? It's just, to me, doing something special for the person you like.
They got a name for everything, Tamron. I don't know why either. I think this is just for people to stay connected, but it's like the real small, like a text. How are you doing today? Yeah. But I hate it, because if it's the GM, I hate the GM text. GM means good morning. You can't even write out good morning and say my name, because you probably sent it to 7 different people. Don't accept no GM text. I don't like.
Don't do. Now we've cleared that mess up.
All right, hold on. It might be this one.
It wasn't that. She said a lot of stupid shit.
I want to find the right person, right? So, being that I'm divorced, being that I'm older, I know what I want and I know what I don't want.
So let's get into it. What do you want, Dave?
Well, first of all, I like a woman that is naturally beautiful. I can do extensions and things like that, but she got to have some hair. Like, she got to have edges. She got to have her own hair.
No.
We don't have a lot to say right now.
No.
He's married.
Kendra.
He got married.
Kendra, God bless him. And I'm sure he's an amazing man, and congratulations to his amazing wife. You said he got married.
He got married. I went to his wedding last year. And the woman saw his video from my show. He got married last year.
Does she have her own hair?
She has her own edges. She's beautiful. She has full hair.
Okay, I don't know. I don't think I have that one. I don't think I have that clip. I might have missed that clip.
Series of clips on this shit, because
it
has to be talked about. But you know, she really made an ass of herself, and Tamron called her out. She's like, hold on, because she said all that stupid shit. And then she tried to backtrack, and Tamron's like, "Oh no, don't go back now. Don't backtrack now. I want you to stay on it." And then she got saved by the bell because they went to a commercial. But listen, Tamron was not having it. Tamron called her out several times for her bullshit.
There we go.
You know, and that's the reason why she started talking sensibly at some point. Mind you, the white girl is the one talking, and the white girl actually gave the correct definition for what they were describing. I forget what term it was. Situationships. The white girl actually gave the correct definition for situationships. It's like,
she cut her off. Yeah,
she cut her off talking about what kind of women you talking to, because them ones ain't calling my line. They calling. That's another thing. The whole performative cooning, the whole extra sister girl shit.
I was waiting for you to go there.
Oh God, this shit was just. What? I mean, she was bucking her eyes basically, and
mammy mode.
In full blown mammy mode, bruh.
Girl, they's never called my slide, girl.
Yeah. All the ooh child and ooh girl. Ooh, Tamara got more money than all us, girl. Yeah. Shut up.
You know what that remind me of real quick? That reminds me of, you know how people, when people say that there's two types of men. A guy who gonna get up here and be like, man, I'll fuck all y'all up, man. I'll whoop everybody in here. And he get his ass whooped. Then you got a nigga that sit there and don't say shit. And the motherfuckers in his face like, yeah, nigga, did it. And he don't do nothing. But that nigga whooped some ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the people that do the performative stuff so much to basically cover up that they really don't have much value. And all the white girls on there, you know, not to give them props like that, but from what I saw, they were more knowledgeable in that realm and in that field and had more success.
Yeah.
And they wasn't really saying much. And they couldn't get to say much because she kept cutting them off, because you could tell that these white women be on a lot of platforms.
Yeah.
There's a way where you feel you can see when or know when people been there. And now you get she's on here, you get Kendra G, she comes on, and even her dress is like some stupid ass shit, but it's more of a flaunting, trying to look so like the star of the show. She's even trying to show out Tim. Because you look at her dress, it's like, no, who put you in this stupid looking dress? And you know you only doing it to try to make yourself seem like the star. And all the women on there, the other women that's out there, they're dressed regular, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, they just dress casual. So it's like you're putting on this extra stuff to make you stand out, and you really are more of a sore thumb that's really not supposed to be on that platform. Tamara just gave you the grace of being on there, but instead of you, and this is why I say a lot of people fumble a lot of stuff, and you could tell, like even in her life, she's fumbling men, and you're fumbling opportunities too. Your whole life, you just been fumbling. And this was the opportunity for her to get on a larger platform than her show and capitalize on it and show people that, hey, you know, this is what I'm doing. And this is the stuff that I have. I have my own app. I have this, I have that. Instead, you look like a straight fool. And now people not even going to want to follow you. And the people that do follow you, they probably like, man, I ain't following her no more. Because especially if you're sitting out here saying that you in your single season and you racking up on men now, if I was somebody looking for love, that's not who the hell I want to get on the platform to go find love with.
She played herself the most with that comment. She played herself with that comment. She just sounded like a thirsty hood rat, bro. It was cringy and painful to watch. I hate to see sisters play themselves, bro. I really, especially when you got two white girls sitting next to you to do the same thing and they're eating your lunch, making you look stupid. That shit was embarrassing, gang. Oh my God. Go ahead, Bobby. What you got? I know you got something, Bobby. I could go all day on this character.
No. The thing that just jumped out at me the most is how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And you see certain people in certain situations and you wonder, you know, well, why haven't they blown up? You know, or hey, this person's good, you know, man, they should be a bigger name, they should be more well known, they should be here, man. Man, they just haven't been discovered yet. And then they get their big break, right? They get their opportunity, they get a larger platform to showcase themselves on, and then you get to see in real time why they never made it there. Now, like you said, up until this point, Kendra, she's been flip-floppy on some occasions, but for the most part, she seemed okay on her platform. Looked all right. Not you know, not a runaway, but okay, yeah, maybe she could be ready for something bigger. But when she finally got that opportunity, and as far as I'm aware, this is her first time being put on a major platform like that with actual syndication. When she popped up, you saw firsthand, damn, that's why she can't get no big traction. You got to see everything on full display. She's up there on this daytime talk show. This isn't like the late night show, whatever. This is a daytime talk show. It's more demure. It's not even that the episode is around you or anything of that nature. You're a part of a panel of other people, so you're basically co-sharing the time with other people. Instead of dressing for that moment, you dress as if you're at the Met Gala or something like that nature. Everyone else looking professional, office chic. You here look like you're about to hit the runway. Not dressed for the occasion, unable to read the room. And then, like you said, when you get on the show, you come doing all the extra theatrics, things I've never seen her. Maybe she has, I don't know, but I've never seen her conduct herself in that manner with all the extra mammyisms on her platform. But she got on a talk show in front of white folk and other folk, and she just had to go ahead and let it all hang out. So now we get to see when you get the stage, when you get the limelight, we get to see who the real you is. There you go.
Yeah.
As we said before, she basically stole the whole playbook from Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
That's not how she was talking before, but after she went on the show, she started adopting that and having success with that.
Yeah.
But when she got the stage, okay, now let me show them what I really think. Oh, that's not who you are. And then when Taryn checks her, then she tries to go back into that bag again. But we see that's not who you really are. That's not what you really believe. Like Jason Black always says, you want to see what a black person really thinks? Put them in front of white people, let them start asking questions. Then you'll see what they really think. She showed who she really was, and Tamron's like ready to realize, oh, that's right. The camera's on me? Yeah. Insert Kevin Samuels talking point A/B. Yeah. It is unraveled because in the end, you can only fake it for so long. You can only be who you really are. And under the brightest lights that she's seen to date, we saw who she really is. And she also got to see for herself that where you currently are, that's your glass ceiling, mama. You will not be breaking through. That is as good as it gets. Well, what was it Chris Rock said? For some, the sky is the limit, but for you, the limit is the sky. That's the highest you're going to get. And this is good. Because you don't need to have the platform you have currently giving piss poor advice to people who are trying to actually get sorted out. You don't need the platform you have presently.
And
so this is a good thing, and this is why it's important to, and this is why I've always stood behind the we embody that here too. We don't have it too often, but I fully understand and support the principle behind folks like Tariq and Jason saying, if you have something to say, specifically if you have a disagreement, don't just click clack somewhere, call up. Put a voice to the statements. Don't just be a keyboard warrior. Yeah, that'll fix them. No. Put a voice to it. Put your face to it. If you really believe what you're saying, if you really got a point, go ahead. Let us see you. Let us hear you. Because anyone can sound any way on text. But when you go ahead and you put your voice, when you put them identifiers to it, now you got to stand on it.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's important to go ahead and do that. So you get to see who you really are, what you really think. And Kendra showed us who she really is, what she really thinks, any beliefs that maybe she turned a corner, she had a come to Jesus, road to Damascus moment. Nah, there was no Emmaus Road conversion. That is who she really is. The same hood rat chick who first called into Kevin Samuels and he had to dress down. That is who she is. And despite hearing what he had to say, despite sitting at his feet and soaking up his talking points, we see that there was no actual transformation.
You didn't learn anything.
You didn't, anything that was said and use it to improve your life. You literally just decided to go ahead and be a mother bird and just vomit it back out.
Yeah.
Yep, well said. I mean, you don't get no realer than that. I do want to point this out. I thought this was pretty good. And I think a lot of times people don't value marriage the way it should be valued. And they don't understand that there's a lot of people in the past that really wish they had the opportunity that a lot of women today had. And I thought this was very sad, but you know, I actually felt good about this lady. So this lady right here, right, 94-year-old grandmother fulfills dreams of wearing a wedding dress after not being allowed in the bridal shop in 1952. You know, it's little things like that that people take for granted. Like, you know, you want to get married. You wanted to get married back in the day, and you weren't even allowed to buy a wedding dress, you know? And at the age of 94, you went to go just to try the dress on to see how you would look, and also just the feel of being inside of a bridal shop, you know, trying on the different fits and outfits that you would have loved to walk down the aisle in. You know, things like that that people don't take in consideration for the elders that before them that didn't have the opportunity, that really wanted to embrace the whole fulfillment of marriage. I thought that was dope. I thought that was
That
dope.
is dope. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And shout out to that sister. I really, really feel a deep sadness when I think about things like that. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine not even being allowed to try on a wedding dress because of the color of your skin? And then you got, you know, some of these other women up here taking love for granted and scoffing at it, you know, and obviously this woman is someone who really values love. You know what I'm saying? At 94, you trying on a wedding dress just because you never got to do it. And while we're talking about that, let me just take time and point out, unfortunately, I don't say this with malicious intent. Unfortunately, Black women are the least likely race and gender of people to get married. Period. Only 1 in 4 Black women will ever marry. That is a statistical fact, you know, and so it's particularly bothersome when I see Black women who are faced with that type of statistic running around talking about how, you know, marriage ain't nothing but a piece of paper and it don't mean nothing. You understand? Because we have a whole culture now of having children out of wedlock and not valuing the nuclear family, and marriage not meaning anything. And look where we've gotten because of it. You understand what I'm saying? So the psychology that says that something that is as serious as marriage, which is taking vows before God, taking serious vows to commit to and love someone else for the rest of your life, making a covenant with God to do so, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. That's something that women used to be the #1 people who were promoting and who were expecting. That's because that's back in the day when women had standards. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Back in the day when women had standards, and in order to get with them, you had to come with something of value. That's not about saying, oh, you got to buy me a $2,000 purse. That's not value. That don't mean shit. But if you're willing to tell me and show me by way of getting me a ring and, you know, engaging in this ceremony, even if you don't do the ceremony, just by taking these vows before God and having a covenant with God and saying, hey, this woman is the woman that I'm going to claim and be with for the rest of my life. For the rest of the time that I am here on earth, I am going to build a life around her. And I'm saying this before God. That used to be required before a woman would carry a child. That's what's called having standards. I shouldn't have to tell you this as a man, ladies, but that's just what it is. You understand what I'm saying? You got these women running around here all willy-nilly just having babies from Tom, Dick, and Harry. And then they want to look at you crazy when you say, nah, I don't want a woman with children. Now I'm saying, like, look, I'm not saying that the fellas are not, you know, people who are part of this as well. You know, we have a whole culture of this where we just have babies all willy-nilly and figure out shit later. I stand by the statement. I've said this a million times. Any dude that got a problem with this, see me. You understand? If she's good enough to have a baby with, she's good enough to marry.
Ultra facts.
And I'm gonna stand on it. You dig?
Ultra facts.
You know, when I see stuff like that, this woman who's 94 years old just trying on a wedding dress just to do it, it speaks to how important love is to our women. And that's something that should not be ignored, and it's not something that should be scoffed at by, of all people, the women. I'm saying marriage is an institution that really protects women. But you got women out here scoffing at it because they don't have the discipline or the wherewithal to have anything of value to contribute to a marriage, or so they think. A lot of them don't even try. And I'll park the Chevy on that.
Well said. All right. Well, we're going to go into our next segment, which is question of the day. All right. So our question of the day comes in as, is it disrespectful for a wife to accept Valentine's Day gift from a boss or an ex?
Bobby, go, because I oh man. Go ahead, Bobby. What you got? Because I'm oh boy. That's too easy.
Why? I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
Woo!
Why would you? Why would you do that?
The question
now, the boss that attempting to give the most good faith response possible, the boss that may or may not be up in the air, especially if the boss is giving other people Valentine's Day gifts as well too. It's not just you they're giving in general. That can be, I mean, you have workplace holidays that there are gifts that are given. They might bring snacks and food to the office, whatever, and might have exchanges. Okay, cool. Fantastic. The ex, though? Exactly what context is it okay in for an ex to pull up with a Valentine's Day gift? Not even a birthday gift. A birthday gift is sus as well, but at least the birthday gift, this is an ex, well, okay, this is your day. Okay, you're on good terms. Okay, give you a gift. Valentine's Day? Really?
Come on now. Come on now.
in my most major gauge voice possible. What are we doing? what are we doing?
I'm just saying, bro. God damn.
Nah. Be finger licking for real, man.
Facts.
I would say if anybody, and again, I'm willing to be a little liberal and give some grace on the whole boss element. If anybody needs to have an explanation as to why it's not okay for an ex to give someone who's presently in a relationship a Valentine's Day gift, I don't know what to say to you. But if I had to put my money on it, it would probably be not a very pleasant response. I'll just put it there. Nothing good to say whatsoever.
It's crazy.
Hey. Like you said, throw the apron on, man. Go cook, man. Go cook.
It's like you said, Bobby. Why? Like, why would you even ask that question? You know what I'm saying? I get that some questions they ask just for the purposes of conversation. And I hope that's why this question is being asked, because this is my general rule, right? When it comes to things that are dating and relationship related. If you have to ask about it, you probably shouldn't do it, because there's a reason why you're asking about it, right? The answer is, hell motherfucking no, it ain't okay to accept no goddamn gift from your boss or your fuck is wrong with you? Hell no, it ain't okay. That's the answer, and I'll explain to you why.
No. Oh, my bad.
I'm setting it up. I'll explain to you why.
Okay, before you set it up, let me give let me give the audience some context to before you set it up, all right?
Okay.
I love this. I
Flowers,
love
my
this.
gift that I received from my boss. I know you did not do that, Cedric. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I received these gifts from my boss. It is Valentine's Day. Hey, let me tell you, I've been at my job for 15 years. I deserve a gift. There's nothing wrong with me getting a gift from my boss. And what is wrong with it? You should appreciate it. I'm the one that's holding it down in this house. If you don't like it, well, where you gonna sleep tonight? I wonder where you gonna sleep tonight. Where are you gonna sleep tonight? Because you're not gonna sleep here because you're not gonna be throwing my gift that I received from my boss. No, sir. No, I don't think so. No. No, you need to leave. You need to leave. Now, you need to leave. Now, you got 5 seconds to.
All right, so I just gave you some context too.
Let me, boy, you really poking the bear, Anthony, boy. You know, because you already know. My head is gonna start spinning around and shit. I'm gonna start climbing up the wall in this bitch any second now because that type of shit makes my blood boil. This is the thing, fellas. I'm gonna just put it out there, man. A hood monkey like that should never make it past the second conversation. Like, she wouldn't even make it to what's your phone number with me. How you end up living with a hyena like that? How? You're not doing your job. I blame him. Yeah, dude, you couldn't pay my wife to talk to me like that. Fuck
yeah, and that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why we on this show we always tell the fellas, like, make sure your life is in order. Make sure you're on your square as a man, because when you are in a situation where you're trying to build yourself up under the wings of a woman, and if that woman doesn't understand your drive or even trying to help you on your journey, she would treat you like shit. You can tell clearly she doesn't have no respect for you.
None.
She has more respect for your boss, and the boss probably clapping the cheeks the way she defended him.
More than likely, the boss is tapping that ass. That's what it sounds like. You know,
that's
like
way too much venom and vitriol, boy.
If you don't have enough common sense to know why you shouldn't accept gifts from other men, then you don't need a man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, facts. I don't give a fuck who it is. Even if your boss is a female, because we got a lot of them, you know, some funny style females out there, you know what I'm saying? Look, if it's a gift that, like Bobby said, if it's that they gave everybody a little trinket, you know what I'm saying, and it went to everybody, cool. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have no problem with that. It went to everybody in the office. It was a little candle or some shit or whatever the case may be. And it's like, you know, it's from, especially if it's from the company, because real talk, if a man is not trying to mac, you understand what I'm saying? He understands the danger to him and the jeopardy to him of sending somebody else's wife or girlfriend a Valentine's Day gift or whatever. He gonna keep that shit real player. He gonna say, okay, yeah, thank you. She, you know, let's say she works at a salon or some shit. You know, he's going to send out, you know, the gift to everybody, and it's going to be from the salon, not from him, from the company. And it's going to be real simple. It ain't going to be no, what the fuck you need to get somebody flowers that's working for you for, that's married. You asking to get your ass whooped. And that could very well be seen as some type of harassment from the woman who you're gifting. You did? So dudes who are cognizant, dudes who got game and ain't really trying nothing slick, they'll protect themselves before they even do some shit like that. You understand? If they do it, that's acceptable. But getting flowers for another man's wife, and like I said, you know, sometimes it's not even what you do or what the problem is, but the way that you react to it. You understand what I'm saying? She went full-blown hyena. You understand? And I could hear the neck waving in her voice. I could hear the neck waving and exactly, and the lip curling in her voice. Nigga, why are you with a creature like that to begin with? Real talk. Because we know this is not the first time that she acted up like that or talked to him like that. And then you already in the wrong. Then you gonna fix your mouth to say, I run shit around here? And where you gonna sleep tonight?
Yeah.
And this nigga still standing there trying to have a conversation with this lower life form. Dude, what are you doing? This she is the trash of trash. You understand what I'm saying? Why are you still there trying to talk to her? I don't understand this about dudes, man. Y'all like to play in the trash too much. When these women start talking slick like that, my best recourse is to get the fuck out because, bro, I know me. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't know. And if you had a woman who was any type of woman, she would never. My wife don't even raise her voice at me. She don't even curse. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but so to hear a woman talk like that, like I'll be looking at her like she had 3 heads. Like, really? You know what I'm saying? But a lot of you dudes, you tolerate this bullshit from these very extra average women, you know what I'm saying, that have no respect for themselves or you, and that shit has to stop because that is the reason why the game is so fucked up right now. You know, y'all are putting all types of how I handle my queen energy into these yuck mouth mutts. You dig? Like, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And like, we really, really got to reel that shit in because it's queens out here that deserve to be treated properly. You understand what I'm saying? And when, you know, a woman has certain actions, she's telling you with her actions, she don't respect you, she don't love you, and she's not worthy of good treatment. Why is your bitch ass still standing there trying to reason with her ass? Oh, I want to smack that nigga, like real talk, like, bruh, because most guys, some guys might hear that and want to smack the woman. I want to smack that dude. Why you still there?
I will say this before I let Bobby chime in.
Yeah.
Ladies, and I want to be as sincere as possible when I say this, don't do what she do because that is very dangerous.
It is.
You're bragging to your man about another man buying you something, and then you are telling him that you run the house. Then you're raising your voice and being very hostile towards your man, and he's on the receiving end. And that type of actions right there can end your life. And I'll say, you don't know the stability of that man, of what's going on, because even though you might talk to him a certain way, you don't know who else talked to him that certain way. And when you talk to him that night, that certain way, that was the straw that broke the camel's back and sent him into a rage. Not only would he unalive your boss, but he'll unalive you in the process too.
Facts.
And maybe unalive himself. And we see a lot of domestic suicide increasing over the years. It's very dangerous. So I just wanted to put that out there to make sure that you control your emotions in various situations and you move strategically, or else, you know, dealing with the wrong person, that might be your last encounter.
Yeah. Very well said, bro. And that's great game. Great game. Go ahead, Bobby.
That's not to say that that's what should happen in that circumstance.
Right.
Not at all. But the reality is you don't know where people are. And if we're to assume, I'm going to hope that having my optimism for once, I'm going to assume that this is just content that's just being made just to go viral and get people stirred up or what have you. But if this was the case, she's talking about how she's the one that basically, for the most part, it sounded like she's at least the breadwinner for the family. Maybe she's the only person working, or at least bringing the lion's share of the resource home and everything. So, based on that, that might already be an issue that he's sensitive about, because you know how hurt people like to go for the low blows, unfortunately. And so you start tapping into certain things that's already a sore issue, that's already weighing out heavily, and then you just jamming that in there. You need to be mindful. There really is life and death in the tongue. Be mindful of things you say, that you speak to each other, because the reality is, even if you broke those flowers, what have you, you may not agree with him for doing it, but he didn't do it for no reason. There was a purpose by it. Now, you may not agree with why he did it, but there was a reason behind that. He felt hurt. He felt offended. He felt disrespected. The thing to do is not to further disrespect and humiliate him in that fashion.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, it's not smart to try and put out a fire by putting more lighter fluid on it, or by throwing another fire on top of it. That doesn't make sense. And even if he wasn't going to snap and go on a postal streak in that regard, you shouldn't want to do that in the first place. The very fact that you're responding that way to a gift from somebody else who is not your significant other is a problem.
That's a problem.
So now, I won't necessarily say that he was wrong for breaking the flowers, what have you. But let's say that I agree he was wrong for doing that. To behave the way you did after the fact, you've just given his whole perspective some very real credibility.
Yeah.
Because that's how I would expect you to behave if someone broke the gift that I gave you as your significant other. This dude just your boss.
Yeah.
The same person who, if he deems it necessary, will fire you behind and put you in the unemployment line tomorrow. But this is also, and this is a great example, if this is legitimate, when you hear a lot of men say that they want the women that they're with to treat them with the same respect they treat their boss or their managers with, this is what they're talking about. This is it right here. You can say, oh, you don't, okay, this is it right here.
Yeah.
So regardless, as is the case, typically, whether this is real or not, there's still very real gems that can be picked up and garnered from this. And I suspect the comments on that video are going to be very interesting as well, too. And not for the better, unfortunately.
No, it's going to be very, very interesting. You already know where they're going to go with the shit. You know what I'm saying? You already know.
It'll be a one-way, all expenses paid trip to Raw Sewage City.
Yeah. You already know.
We're about to get up out of here shortly. So I got my next topic right here, requesting advice. I need help. I know you guys are going to sum this up real quick. It's not something that you elaborate with. I think it's pretty short, short chase. But it is this. I would like anonymous advice. I've been dating a guy for 9 months. He gave me a basket of snacks from Family Dollar, totaling $33, as a Valentine's Day gift, along with flowers. We also went to dinner, a place I told him I don't enjoy. He then proceeded to tell me I don't make him a priority, even though he's at my house eating home-cooked meals 4 days a week. It feels like I'm always getting things done and he's reaping the benefits. We are booked for a trip in March, but he hasn't started paying me any money towards the trip yet. I told him we need a break. Am I being too hasty?
Nah, you ain't being too hasty. And I'll tell you why. Because it just seems like y'all aren't compatible. It is a little strange that you counted the value of the candy that he gave you in the basket. That's a little strange. I would say, just as a general rule, you probably shouldn't do that. I'm more concerned with the fact that he took you to a restaurant of a place that you told him you don't enjoy. That actually kind of matters. The other stuff, you shouldn't be totaling, the cost of the candy in the gift basket. You don't fall back from that shit. That's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But we all do crazy things sometimes, right? So we're not going to dwell on that, but that sounds a little crazy, all right? But when you talk to somebody, they should be observing and internalizing what you say to them. And if you told them that you don't enjoy this particular restaurant, you specified that and he took you there, that tells me he's not that in tune to your needs, and your desires and so forth and so on. Sounds like you're upset because he put in low effort, in your opinion, with regards to Valentine's Day. And I would say if he took you to a place that you've told him you don't enjoy, I can agree with that. And I can understand y'all taking a break. Maybe you need to talk a little more, vet him a little more. If you are going to still talk, you need to be clear in communicating, hey, I like you or I don't like you, because you didn't say whether you really like the guy or not, right? But if you like him, you need to let him know, hey, I like you, but I want you to pay more attention to me and bring that up. Hey, you took me someplace on Valentine's Day I told you I ain't even like. And that'll open a conversation, and don't attack him. Don't say it in an accusatory manner, just as a matter of fact type of thing. This is what you did. I like you, assuming you do like him. I like you, but come on, man, you got to show me a little more love. You know what I'm saying? And he probably, if he's a real dude, he'd be like, you know what, my bad. That was kind of flaw. I'll make it up to you, and then y'all can proceed forward. But don't count don't count favors or deeds, or don't get in the habit of doing that. Oh, I did this, and you make four meals every night, every week for this guy. You're counting that too. It's like you're keeping score. Don't do that. Don't do that. Allow him to reciprocate. See if he does reciprocate. See if he takes you out sometime or invites you to his place or whatever the case may be. You're going to eat 4 meals anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So you might enjoy his company and the 4 meals might be cool. But like the other thing that stood out to me is when you said that, y'all are planning a trip and he hasn't given you any payments toward it. When you are dealing with somebody like that, again, it sounds like you might have a potential moocher. You got to nip that shit in the bud. You did. You got to nip that shit in the bud. I like things like this. Like and I'm very direct. If I got a problem with you, you're going to hear about it. And I'm going to address you respectfully, but I'm going to be like, hey, bro, that was some fuck shit in the most polite way possible, right? So call him out on that too. Hey, we're supposed to be going XYZ, blase, squaze. We need X amount by this date. So are we still going? If he says yes, okay, I'm going to need this by this date and this by this date. You can pay me in installments, whatever. But if we're putting our money together, I need to know so I can hold our spot. Just present him with the facts on some real shit and see how he responds. If he responds with some fuckboy shit, you got to clear it. You understand what I'm saying? So you do have a legitimate case as long as you're not counting candy and meal. You know what I'm saying? So just stop counting shit and keep it score and you'll be okay. That's my 2 cents. Go ahead.
I think it's you got a transactional relationship if that's what it falls under. But if you're looking at it as a transactional relationship, that means you failed at the vetting process, because I think you didn't realize that the guy that you have is not financially where you want him to be. And again, like I say, if you're counting that type of the gifts or what you do for him, I kind of see that as not really about for you. I think it's more of you flashing those gifts to friends, family members of, yeah, my man bought me this, and you don't have anything to put out there. And it's kind of embarrassing if you do put that out there, because then your friends will sit there and laugh at you, or your Facebook internet friends will laugh at you. So I think you have nothing to brag about from this guy, and it's really burning your bridges. But overall, I think they both have issues. I think she has a vetting issue, and I think on his behalf, he hasn't been around enough real men to understand how to court a woman the right way and treat a woman the right way. I think he has, based on what it said, it kind of feels like he has mother issues, which is, you having a woman to always take care of you, feed you, and you doing the bare minimum. That's something you do when you have mama issues like that. So I see it on both sides. So, best advice I can say is, if he's really a good guy and he's just dragging his feet, see if you can, do some things, say some things to get him on the path of doing right. If he doesn't make any effort, then just part ways, because it's only going to get worse. Yeah. And I'll land my plane on that.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Bobby. What it is, yo? What it is?
So I see y'all want to be all polite and I gotta be the execution. That's fine by me.
Okay, go for it.
My battle axe don't ever get a dull edge.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Am I being too hasty? No, ma'am. I don't think you're being too hasty. If anything, I think you're dragging your ass cheeks. 9 months, ma'am.
Oh shit!
You realize it takes 9 months for two people to clap cheeks, conceive a child, develops that child, and give birth to the child.
Right.
9 months is a long ass time.
It is.
It's almost a whole year.
And
during this time period, this man has copped you a basket of candy in the 2 digits, and it's not quite towards the $50 mark. Took you to a restaurant that you told him you don't like, and here you are planning a trip now. It costs paper, and so far he is MIA with his side of the payment. I'm usually willing to give grace to people, but see, here's the thing. Each of those individual things by themselves, maybe a molehill, not quite a mountain. But when you put it all together, to me, it gives off a person that is basically not really interested. Especially if you're doing things for him, he's getting a meal cooked for him constantly all the time. He's getting food whipped up for him. I'm assuming other things are being done. Counting the cost of the candy sounds petty. However, in most people's cases, you're not going to do something like that unless you start feeling like you're being taken advantage of. Because if you have that kind of relationship, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, whether it's family, friends, significant other, whatever, and you guys are doing things for each other back and forth, you lose count of the cost.
Facts.
With me and my friends, I don't even know who's up on the scoreboard. Sometimes we go out to the movies, whatever. Someone pays for me or this pays for somebody else. The birthday, we all chip in for their food or what have you. Or I forgot my wallet at home. Hey, ask kid, dog, I got you. Just run me back next time. They leave their wallet, or I'm just like, hey, man, don't worry, I got you this time, whatever. We spot each other all the time. I couldn't even begin to cost who's up and who's down. Maybe someone has done 2 or 3 things more for me than the other way around, or vice versa. It could easily be, but we don't care. Because we know that with our circle, we don't count each other's coins like that or say, hey, man, you owe me 3 favors. Nah, because we know it's a bank account. We can all at any time pull it out for the other person or pull out for ourselves at any given time, and there's no feelings about it one way or the other. The only time it's not that way is if you get the sense that you're the person that's always doing, always giving, always being asked, always doing whatever, and it's not coming back to you. In other words, we talked about the bank account model before. In other words, if you're always making withdrawals, but there ain't no deposits coming in.
Yeah.
That's when Chase or Wells Fargo starts hitting up your phone with notifications saying, hey, you're under such and such amount. That's when you start becoming aware of that. Then you start counting coins like, you know what? I must have done like at least $180 worth of stuff for him this month alone. One time he spends money, I mean, it's $30. That's it. That's when that kind of thing starts happening. And that's when
you got to count, it's a wrap. Yeah, that's bad.
And then for those people want to say, well, maybe his pockets ain't straight, he ain't got money like that. Okay, cool. So then explain to me how when he takes her out for dinner, he takes her to the place that she said she doesn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that she didn't give a whole list of places that she doesn't like, but the one place she mentioned she doesn't like, all the other options around you, this is the place that you end up going to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no good way to explain that on the best case scenario, you don't pay attention to anything that she tells you. It goes in one ear and out the other. You literally floss the ear holes out with what she tells you. That's the bright side of that. The dark side of that is you can show her, I don't give a damn what you tell me, you can go wherever I take you to.
Mm-hmm.
That's a completely different spirit right there. All I'm saying is 9 months in, whatever you accept is what you should expect. If you think it's going to get better now, buckle up, mama. You're going to take you on a ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure you're going to like the journey. I'm even more sure you're not going to like the final destination.
Mm-hmm.
So do with that what you will. I'm not going to tell you to go ahead and break up with him, because if y'all part ways, you can't come stay at my place. You can't come. I'm not interested in clapping your cheeks. I'm sorry. So because I'm not offering to go ahead and take his place, I can't tell you how to go ahead and proceed with that. But just understand, whatever decision you make, commit to it. Don't be wishy-washy. Commit to the decision. If he's donezo, he's donezo. If you're going to tough it out, tough it out. But either way, from this point on, you are no longer a victim. You are a willing participant in whatever decision you make.
Facts.
So if you don't want to actually do what you know you're supposed to do, that's going to feel like a death sentence to you. If you know what you're supposed to do and you're willing to do it, then that should be very empowering to you, and you should feel very good about what's going to happen going forward. So, and regardless of the situation, I tip my hat to you. Wish you all the best.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going into our last segment of the night, which is the crown check. All right. So our crown check tonight. Shout out to Bobby for picking us crown check for tonight. This 11-year-old cowgirl made history competing in the first national televised black rodeo. Meet Courtney Solomon, a fourth-generation Texas cowgirl who was only 11 years old when she competed in her first nationally televised black rodeo back in 2011. 2021. Sorry. Rodney, who was born and raised in Texas, comes from a family deep rooted in the rodeo history. Her mother, Kenesha Jackson, is an 11-time invitational champion, and her father, Corey Solomon, is a professional rodeo Cowboys Association tie-down roper. Courtney's grandmother, Stephanie Hayes, boasts 18 invitational championships and served on the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo Board, while her grandfather, Segwit Haynes, was the rodeo general manager before his passing. At just 5 years old, Courtney made her debut at the Bill Pickett Rodeo. She has since secured numerous championships in ladies barrel and junior breakaway events. The Bill Pickett Invitational, one of the oldest black-owned rodeo circuits, joined forces with professional bull riders for the showdown in Vegas in 2021, showcasing 7 pro events like the bareback riding and the calf roping. Courtney, along with other cowboy and cowgirls, have participated, made their mark in the historic event that marked the first national televised black rodeo. The young cowgirl's world involves more than just mastering rodeo techniques. She and her mom, based in Hempstead, Texas, care for their horses, handling everything from feeding and grooming to training and riding. Jackson, Courtney's mom, emphasized their technique connection with the horses, even with their distinct personality. The rodeo season usually spans from May to September, with at least one event in the weekend. Despite the commitment to the sport, her mother said it's very important for Courtney to have a regular childhood, participating in dance, gymnastics, cheerleading, and basketball. Courtney, often the only girl in competitions, remained focused on her performance, setting aside time before the run of solidarity contemplation. Before I run, I like to be by myself to think about what I'm going to do in that run. So shout out to Courtney for doing her thing, and a shout out for her mom. I think her mom said something so critical in that. She was like, she needs to be a child, and I totally commend parents out there that have gave the space for their children to be children and engage in children activities. And I think that's very vital for the growth and development of children. So that way they can live their childhood and have a great childhood, and they don't have to live out their childhood in their adulthood, like we've seen Michael Jackson do.
Nice.
And that's something that is very, very important and creates a great atmosphere of mental health.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to her. Wow. Wow. Shout out to that young sister. We need that out here. We need that energy. I love to see the young sisters doing powerful things like this. And I love to see the older sisters empowering them to do these type of things. Shout out to Sister Keita in the chat. Shout out to you. We see you out there. Shout out to everybody else that's watching. We appreciate you. That was a beautiful crown check. I'm good. I'm good. I'm inspired for the week. You did? Wow. And just in closing, because I'm gonna close out now too, because I know we gotta go.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to see people stop trivializing Black love. I want to see that, because broadly speaking, that's what we're doing. It is across the board. You got men out here, talking about, oh, these hoes ain't shit, and you got women out here, with this cliched type of thinking, oh, I don't need no man, men ain't shit, all the men are dogs, or whatever the case may be. And none of that gets us any farther. You understand what I'm saying? We all need each other, otherwise we wouldn't all be here. So let's get right and let's get together. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that, what y'all saying out there, you're just masking the hurt. That's all it really is. Most people who talk like that and talk all sideways, they're just masking the hurt, and that's not helping you. That's just worsening the situation. A lot of y'all need to really seek therapy, because you have some problems that are, unfortunately, going to be very difficult to correct, but you got to start somewhere. So I want to see more people, get more serious about Black love and therapy if it is needed. And I'll talk heavy on that. Shout out to everybody. Black love.
Take us home, Jake.
Absolutely. That's a beautiful tradition. There's so much rich history that we as a Black people have, or specifically foundational Black Americans have, with being cowboys and cowgirls. To be honest, cowboys and cowgirls originally were Black people, right? That's why they were called boys and not cowmen or ranchers. The white homesteads were known as ranchers. And because, again, that they don't allow you to be a man or a woman on the system of race and white supremacy, they were cowboys, cowgirls. But as you see, they were some of the most gifted, the most skilled when it comes to handling the livestock and dealing with the cattle and the horses and all those in the nation. They were very much in tune with them, and that's where they got the reputation they had. So the Bill Pickett Invitational is very old, very well respected, even among the non-Black circuits, which is part of the reason why the PBR, which is the premier organization for bull riding and all things cattle related in the sporting realm, partnered with them. So it's a beautiful thing to see that family legacy continue. You see the grandparents were involved, and then their children were involved. Now their granddaughter Courtney is involved as well too, and she's making her own mark and cutting her own teeth in there. So it's beautiful to see that tradition continuing, and I hope that there's more of that going forward. We don't need to disassociate ourselves from these timeless elements of our history as Black people. We need to keep these things retained. And unfortunately, at least from the outside looking in, it appears that some of these things are starting to die off. I don't know who the next generation of tap dancers, for example, is going to be. I know Savion Glover was probably the biggest name we have currently. I don't know who the next generation of tap dancers are. And again, that's something that we've historically shined and done very well in. We've made a name for ourselves and a reputation for that. These art forms, these practices that we have culture that go back a long ways, they need to be salvaged. They need to be rescued. I'm hoping that the new generation will dig into history and they become familiar with these things and find these obscure passions and hobbies that they didn't know about and keep them going. So shout out to Courtney, shout out to her family. I hope that their family legacy continues to be deep and soaked in the history of bull riding and in the cowboy, cowgirl, cowpoke traditions. So this has been another week. Hopefully we have done our part to really go ahead and encourage and motivate love to continue to flourish. And again, I would just recommend and advise people, again, don't lead from fear. A lot of these anti-love, anti-male, anti-female babble that gets put out there, it comes from a place of fear and ignorance. You're afraid. You're afraid of failing in a place where you're likely to experience a lot of hurt and damage because it's so close to your heart. You haven't seen successful relationships. You don't know what they look like. Everything you've encountered has been negative. But that doesn't have to be the outcome for you. There's two ways that you can respond to situations like that. You can either become bitter and cut yourself off from it, or you can resolve and dig down into your intestinal fortitude and say, I'm more committed than ever to be successful in this endeavor. No, I don't know what a healthy, successful, positive relationship is. I've never seen one, but damn it, I'm determined to be one. I'm determined to be the first one that I know of and set that trend. And we have the internet, we have Google, we have all kind of resources, all kind of books, all kind of gurus out here who actually know what they're talking about, not Kendra G's. Go out there, invest in yourself, learn how to achieve the end and the outcome that you actually want, because it's out there if you're willing to invest in it. But nothing that's ever been worth having has been easy to come by, right? If you're serious about building yourself up and becoming the best version of yourself, you should seek to do that in all areas, including your love life. You're worth it. Invest in you. When you find that person, it's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful experience. A good, positive, healthy, functional relationship, it will take you to the next level, male or female. A good partner is going to challenge you. They're going to push you. They're going to propel you to the next higher phase of yourself, because it's not just about you anymore. It's about somebody else that you're considering. When you have somebody else that you have to be mindful of, that only pulls out the best in you, if nothing else, because then you want to do it for that person as well. So next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Pass this episode on. Share with other people that you know are down in the dumps, or maybe they're feeling a little hopeless about their situation in love. Get in the right game. Get them put up on the business. We'll catch y'all next week, same time, same place. We love y'all. Stay safe. Big ups to everyone on IG. Big ups to everyone on YouTube. Everyone else that's finding us wherever they're finding us at. Stay safe. Major Gage, Anthony.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage, we are. This is Manifestations 2020.